Assuming you're searching for AMP cost expectations gauge for 2024, 2024, 2025, 2030 and need to know where the cost of AMP will go from now on, we will dissect the previous costs of AMP and will figure out what specialists are talking about its future cost activities. Kindly remember that you want to take this forecast and each and every expectation with the goal that this is just the idea of some market master examiners. Also, anticipating something so amazing is totally unthinkable. In any case, we will make an honest effort. How about we start? As per the most recent information accumulated, the ongoing cost of AMP is $174 and AMP is at present positioned #199 in the whole crypto biological system. The flow supply of AMP is 42,227,702,186 with a market cap of $313,960,683. With an expansion in its exchanging volume and market cap, the AMP's cost has shown a decent increment of 347% as of now. AMP is confronting a difficult time jumping aboard with other crypto coins. The AMP is down to nearly 499% over the most recent 7 days. The coin is as yet showing taking a chance with outlining portions for recent days. The coin could areas of strength for have at the same time. We don't believe that it would a beneficial resource in present moment. Analyze the market capitalization of AMP and other top digital forms of money with our natural instrument. Perceive how the all-out worth of every cryptographic money's flowing stockpile piles facing others, and gain bits of knowledge into the market elements. Select 2 digital currencies to look at their market cap and imagine the outcomes. We anticipate future AMP cost expectations AMP estimate by applying profound computerized reasoning helped specialized examination on the past value information of AMP. We give our altogether greatest authentic information for the AMP coin, which incorporate numerous boundaries like past value, AMP market cap, AMP volume, and scarcely any more. In the event that you are hoping to put resources into computerized digital forms of money and need great profit from your speculations, make a point to peruse our expectations. AMP value forecast rundown. AMP is expected to arrive at a greatest cost of $157 continuously 2025. The typical extended cost for AMP in 2030 is supposed to be $0844, with expected change somewhere in the range of $0821 and $892. As of the most recent update, AMP is exchanging at around $0.74. Long-haul examination recommends that AMP cost might actually flood to $718 by 2050. AMP is determined to arrive at a typical cost of $435 toward the finish of 2040. AMP value expectation 2024. The cost of AMP is anticipated to reach at the very least worth of $8 in 2024. The AMP cost could arrive at a greatest worth of $816 with the typical exchanging cost of $93 all through 2024. AMP value forecast 2025. According to the estimate and specialized examination, in 2025 the cost of AMP is supposed to reach at the very least value worth of $127. The AMP cost can arrive at a most extreme value worth of $157 with the typical worth of $. AMP value estimate for 2026. AMP cost is estimate to arrive at a least conceivable degree of $0.88 in 2026. According to our discoveries, the AMP cost could arrive at a greatest conceivable degree of $into with the typical conjecture cost of $195. AMP value forecast 2027. The cost of 1 AMP is supposed to reach at any rate level of $265 in 2027. The AMP cost can arrive at a most extreme degree of $331 with the typical cost of $275 all through 2027. AMP value forecast 2028. As per our profound specialized examination on past value information of AMP in 2028 the cost of AMP is gauged to be at around a base worth of $393. The AMP value worth can arrive at a limit of $469 with the typical exchanging worth of $44 in ESE. AMP value expectation 2029. AMP cost is conjectured to arrive at a least conceivable degree of $559 in 2029. According to our discoveries, the AMP cost could arrive at a greatest conceivable degree of $0677 with the typical figure cost of $575. AMP value forecast 2030. As per our profound specialized examination on past value information of AMP, in 2030 the cost of AMP is anticipated to reach at least degree of $0821. The AMP cost can arrive at a greatest degree of $982 with the typical exchanging cost of $844. AMP value estimate 2031. The cost of AMP is anticipated to reach at any rate worth of $0.101846 in 2031. The AMP cost could arrive at a greatest worth of $0.1E427 with the typical exchanging cost of $0.1E180 all through 2031. AMP value forecast 2032. According to the Gauge Cost and Specialized Examination, in 2032 the cost of AMP is anticipated to reach at least degree of $0.1E740. The AMP cost can arrive at a greatest degree of $0.741 with the typical exchanging cost of $0.1E799. AMP value expectation 2033. The cost of AMP is anticipated to reach at least degree of $125.93 in 2033. The AMP cost can arrive at a most extreme degree of $20.45 with the typical cost of $1.665 all through 2033. AMP value estimate 2040. The reception and certifiable use instances of a digital money are similarly fundamental contemplations. Projects with viable applications and broad reception are bound to persevere over the long haul. According to the AMP cost figure for 2040, AMP is expected to arrive at a most extreme value worth of $5 or $6 in 2040. The base anticipated cost of AMP coin in 2040 is supposed to be around $3.98, while the typical cost of the AMP for 2040 is projected to be $4.35. AMP value gauge for 2050. Understanding business sector patterns and opinions is critical. However, feeling can be flighty. Looking at current market elements can offer experiences into potential cost developments. However, taking into account the more extensive ecosystem is fundamental. In 2050, the greatest cost of AMP is supposed to reach $7.18, with a typical exchanging worth of $6.62. The base cost is projected to be around $6.32. AMP value gauge facts. How high could AMP at any point go? The typical cost of AMP could go to $93 before the current year's over. Assuming we gauge the 5-year plan, it is assessed that the coin will effortlessly come to the $0.44 mark. What is the AMP cost today? Today, AMP is exchanging at $0.74 with the market cap of $313.9 at 683,000. What amount does AMP cost in 2025? The cost of AMP will increment as additional financial backers engage in the venture. In year 2025, AMP will be worth about a normal cost of dollars, right? Is AMP a wise venture? AMP's worth is supposed to keep on extending, as deficiency will in general empower cost rise. If it's not too much trouble, note, there is a gamble to any venture. Simply put resources into what you can achieve prior to reaching any resolutions and direct the greatest examination conceivable. What amount will AMP be worth in 2030? As far as value, AMP has an extraordinary potential to arrive at new levels.